Why did the PROVEX chart go up 1,000,000%? And why is it dumping right now? I'm going to explain everything. There's never a dull moment with the PulseChain drama. So PROVEX, for people that don't know, it's Richard Heart's latest coin. And as we are seeing live right while I'm recording this, it is getting dumped back down almost to where it came from. Here's what's happening with PRVX, ticker symbol, okay? All the coins got distributed, but none of the coins are sellable yet. Somehow there are a couple of liquidity pools started, and only one whitelisted address is able to sell, which is clearly selling right now in front of our face. This is very exciting. Guys, if you're watching this video, just wait a little bit. You don't have to do anything. So everybody that bought this coin on the way up, here's what basically happened. There was a little bug, a glitch in the launch of PROVEX. I know. SMH my head. I mean, but at this point, I'm so desensitized to everything. I'm like, I woke up today. My cortisol wasn't even spiked. Normally, this would be like the sky is falling. But even the PulseChain community, they're treating this as a joke because when things launch early, there's sometimes there's snipers or weird shenanigans that happen at launch. And that's why a lot of coins look like this. This is the Bonk chart, for example. Bonk did very well, but the very first candle, traders know, you don't really take it seriously because you don't know what happened in the first 20 minutes, or in this case, in the first 24 hours. All it takes is somebody buying really, really high to paint the chart to make it look like a giant candle. But it's irrelevant, especially in a time where PROVEX, like I just said, is only buyable and not sellable for about 6 more hours, maybe 5 more hours. So if anybody's worried, just chill. Everything's going to be fine. It looks like the whitelisted address, which is the developer's address, looks like they're dumping it right back down to almost where it started. Now, everybody that bought in here is just, I have no words to describe how stupid this is. Just don't buy a chart when all the sell pressure becomes unlocked in a couple of hours. Why would you do this? People just can't help themselves, I guess. Like I said, it's not sellable. Only one guy can sell. Only the deployer whitelisted address can sell, which he just did, which is great to see. And if we go to the liquidity down here, let me show you in the corner here. The total liquidity is only $3,000. So yeah, people are going to cry about this sniper that got in early somehow and bought a bunch early. He put in like $64 and now it's worth a few $1,000s. I hope he jeets early and fast. I hoop he sells everything. And when you look at the liquidity available, you're going to read liquidity like 5.7 thousand, right? When you're reading Deck Screener, let me explain how liquidity works. 5.7 thousand isn't the total extractable value. It's actually only half that, because you have to look down and see that 2.9 thousands on the buy side and 2.9 thousands on the sell side. So there's an equal amount on both sides, you see. The sell side is PROVEX tokens, the buy side is Pulse tokens. So if anybody wanted to extract like a sniper that got in early, the most he'd be able to get out of this is like $2,800. Not that much money at all. So I mean, this is honestly just, it's almost comical to me. And when we take a look at the liquidity pools over here, we've got 5.8K over here, 3.8K over here. You need to be in your head. You need to be dividing these numbers by 2, right? Because like I just said, there's symmetric liquidity, an even amount of coins on both sides. So the PROVEX token has been tied to Pulse, PulseX, and that's really the only, and DAI. So altogether, that's what? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Okay, so a couple of snipers get to capture $6,000 of value. Just don't buy this coin until after it dips. Now, I was going to make this video predicting a crash, but it looks like the whitelisted addresses are already causing the crash because, again, people's coins are not sellable. They were only buyable, which I think was a mistake. Some people are going to say, oh, it's all part of the grand plan. Some people need there to be a grand plan for everything. Sometimes there's a little hiccup. Okay, sometimes launches aren't so smooth. With Hex, back in the day, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was this recycling FUD where Uniswap existed before the launch phase ended, and so people were arbitraging and dumping the price on Uniswap. So the OA was forced to do recycling in the adoption amplifier. That doesn't mean anything to anybody anymore because people forget. Like, people are going to forget this. What's happening right here? I'm on the 5-minute chart, guys. I'm on the 5-minute chart. Look at the daily. The daily is going to be one big wick, and I guarantee you people are going to forget about this in like 2 weeks' time. Or it'll just be a funny joke, a funny distant memory. So I need to go to the 5-minute chart to show you guys what's actually happening. It looks crazy. There's really not much going on. So if you're worried about this, just touch grass. Don't let something like this spike your cortisol. There's still nothing to do. You're going to have your tokens in your wallet. If you don't already, maybe you join the sacrifice pool. You can go claim your tokens in like 6 or 7 more hours. But if you didn't join the pool, you should have your tokens already, and you'll notice that they can't be sold for a certain amount of time. And the whole point of this was to have a coin that launches low or at near zero value, which technically it did for like a little bit. So for all intents and purposes, everything is fine on that end. And it's funny, you got the founder, Richard Heart, saying, "Dear media, thank you for not covering that most people can buy PROVEX but not sell it on PulseX." And the chart and price look quite silly. So he's even admitting, like, this is just stupid what's happening. So because it's buyable but not sellable, people just had to buy it. And again, it got sold right back down. So this is good, actually. This is what I want to see. I was hoping it would launch very low. And whatever poor souls bought on this way up, you shouldn't have done that. I mean, just sit on your hands and wait for the actual launch to happen. And for the people saying, oh, it's all part of the plan, green candles are the best marketing, or whatever the cope is, it's just false. Okay, it's just cope. People don't remember, but when PulseX first launched as well, PulseX had a little bug in V1 where the fees weren't paying out properly. So now you have PulseX V1 liquidity pools and V2. And of course, everybody was outraged about that for about 2 weeks. And now nobody talks about it anymore at all. So people are human. It's not good to look at people like gods. Richard Hart's the founder. By the way, guys, he's not even a developer. So whoever forgot to disable selling, or buying rather, it probably wasn't even Richard. It was like one of his developers. So a lot of misplaced anger, a lot of prices down. I get it. We're all wrecked. It's been down for 4 years. It sucks, but still very optimistic because what this chart's going to end up looking like, guys, on the long term. Look, if I just go to the daily, it just looks like one single wick candle. And like I have on my examples right here, this is the bonk chart. This is the Floki chart. These things all have giant candles at the beginning, down, red candles, because somebody inevitably buys way too high. And all it takes is one little buyer at an absurdly high price, right, to set that wick really stupidly high. And then the market sells it down to wherever. This is how most launches will go. And a lot of times people will purposely ignore, or even sometimes the trading platforms will cancel out the first candle because it disrupts the whole chart. But sometimes Dex Screener forgets to. Like, look right here, right? This is the Shiba Inu, another very successful coin. On their first week, they had a giant red candle because all it would take is somebody, look, buying $1 worth of the coin up here, and then selling it down and somebody else buying another $1 worth of the coin over here. So when the coins begin, there's such low volume. In the case of PROVEX, there's only buyers, not even sellers. There shouldn't be any volume, but I guess there's been about $20,000 worth of volume. Jeez, because people just can't help themselves, I guess. So look, Dex Screener isn't even able to calculate the market cap because it's in the trillions of dollars. The price is in the, I don't know, Q, is that quintillions? That's what comes after, quadrillions maybe. These aren't real numbers. So don't panic, just enjoy the show. It's kind of funny, honestly. I mean, we're just so wrecked. We got nothing else to do. Nothing else to do but buy a coin that can't even be sold. So why would you buy something where all the sell pressure is about to come due in a couple hours? So I don't even need to predict that this price chart is going to go down because it is already going down. And I would expect it to go down even more because, as we know, people that get in on these pre-sales, some portion of them is really short-term, paper-handed plebs. They're going to sell their whole future for a couple $100s. It'll be interesting to see where the liquidity pools end up. We've got Richard Hart here actually asking the community again, how much liquidity and paired with what do you wish PROVEX coin had? So we've had a lot of interesting ideas. A lot of people suggesting what if it was paired to PulseX? What if it was paired to DAI stablecoin instead of Pulse to be decoupled and not liquidity bonded? I think that's a pretty decent idea. Or hey, what if it was paired to ETH on the Ethereum network for some exposure for people trading on Uniswap, right? That's where all the volume is done. It might be nice to have a tiny little liquidity pool over there as well. Regardless, the community, you guys can all say what you think should be done in here. But at the end of the day, these are all permissionless networks. Anybody can pair PROVEX to any other coin and do whatever they want. But in the early days, you want liquidity low so you can capture a lot of those X's early on. But you also want it high enough to where some sniper can't just come in and buy a whole bunch of coins, which somebody kind of did. So this guy that bought $64 worth of coins and now it's worth like $10,000, like, all right, good for him. He's got a couple grand. My guess is he's probably going to sell most of it. I would hope that he sells all of it, whoever sniped the launch. But it's not something that's worth obsessing over or getting all worked up about because, look, the numbers are so low right now. And the chart's going to be extremely volatile. And when people can sell their tokens, like imagine all of this just didn't happen. So in like 5 more hours when it becomes sellable, just imagine that's when the chart actually starts. And then we're going to go down from there. Because again, people are going to take their little $500 bag and sell it because they made a 2x. Good for them. I'm long-term holding this one. I'm long-term holding everything. And it's really fun to watch this live. Like, as I'm talking, this is happening. We're right back down to where it started. This is really great to see. Stop putting your money in this, guys. Stop putting your money into this chart when it's not even sellable yet. Just wait a day. Hey, maybe wait 2 days. Maybe you'll get a nice dip buying opportunity like I've been saying for many months now. Every pre-sale launch has pre-sale sell pressure, right? People that wanted a quick flip, and they'll sell for anything over what they got in at. So So yes, it was a crazy mistake. It was a mistake. Or, if it was all part of the plan, whatever helps you sleep at night, Maybe it's all part of the plan. Maybe Richard did it to get some news articles written. Highly doubt it, guys. Highly doubt it. Also, you got to separate Richard from... He's not a developer, right? He's got a team of developers, most likely. And he doesn't even seem to be worried about it. He's tweeting about AI stuff, like, right after noticing how silly the candlestick looks. So this whole thing wasn't supposed to be buyable or sellable. Again, but it was buyable, so people bought it. That just... impulsive decisions are really going to kill you in crypto. You just got to do a lot. It's a lot of hurry up and wait, which sucks. Nobody wants to. Everyone's like, what button do I click right now? Don't click any buttons, folks. Just hang on. It's going to be okay. And PROVEX launching at zero value is actually good for potential legal reasons, right? Because it helps prevent claims that you received income from an airdrop. An airdrop worth zero, even if it was only worth zero for a couple of hours. You could still say, just like Pulse and PulseX, that you got an airdrop worth of zero value. So you don't have to pay tax on something that, you haven't sold yet just for receiving. You don't have to pay tax for the receiving part, probably. Ask your tax advisor, guys. But that's kind of how this works. That's the point of airdropping something at zero value. And even Richard Hart is saying here, the founder, if the timing works out, TLDR, whoever races to sell first gets to nuke the price. Otherwise, the whitelisted address just nukes it first. Looks like that's what's happening now. The whitelisted address just nuked it right back to square one. Or people can just choose not to buy something they can't sell and let it sit as close as possible to zero. So you just got to follow the founder with this thing, guys. Don't listen to scammers. There's probably scammers saying that there's some claim function or some extra steps you have to do. Just be careful. Don't fall. There's phishing websites. I saw your friend Sami. He pointed out a phishing website. Only go to PulseChain.com, PROVEX.com. Just only the official websites. Type them into the URL bar. Richard says, I'm not a fan of the race to dump mechanic. And all this happened about 10 hours ago. So, again, that leaves us with about maybe 8 hours left. So tonight, keep an eye on your buy the dip opportunity. This whole thing, this whole little debacle, this is what it really is, folks. It's just a whole big nothing burger, scam wick, similar to Shiba, Floki, Bonk, and even Pepe. Even look at the Pepe chart. At the beginning, sold down, did nothing for a couple months, and then skyrocketed upwards. So we hope and we pray that it looks like this. We're obviously still dependent on a lot of macro conditions, but it is funny to see a 1,000,000% gain. Who knows? One day this might be a funny meme that we pass around when times are good again. Eventually they will be, but it's not right now. We don't know if there's going to be war. We don't know if the PMI is going to stay up. We don't know if the midterm elections are going to affect anything, or maybe we have to wait for a new president. I'm going to be here either way regardless. It's nice if something happens early. Like, it's nice if the war stops, or if they print money again, lower the interest rates. Now they say they might not. They might actually hike the rates once or something. It's unprecedented territory. Again, crypto's never existed in non-zero interest rates environment until, the big crash in 2022. So grab your popcorn, and if you didn't join the sacrifice and you do want to, something tells me you're going to get a little dipperoonie over here, maybe in about 8 hours. So keep calm, chill, enjoy the shit show, and just survive out here, guys. I'm optimistic for 2026. I'm optimistic for PROVEX, but also we've been just kicked in the nuts so many times, just gut punch after gut punch. So don't be surprised if we get a couple more of those. I'm sure we're all used to it by now. I know when I woke up and checked my phone and my whole reaction was just meh. Like, little dev fuck up. What are you going to do? Like, I knew when that was my reaction that I wasn't even mildly worried or concerned. That's just a sign of we're in the complacency phase. We're in just like the learned helplessness, like trudging along. It's past depression. It's past anger for me. It is what it is, but hang in there. I'll be here making content, having fun, trying to keep the dream alive. That's all we can do. Let's get back to marketing our bags. Marketing can be fun. Like, subscribe, share. Oh, and if you want one of these seed word cards, check out these bad boys. Keep your crypto safe. Get one of these on my YouTube channel. Tray below. See you on the next one.